First of all, the term businessy, I hate the term businessy. I'm going to tell you why. It's a business. You got to run your business, right? So no matter what you do, you have to, if you need a sales funnel, you have to create whatever you do that you have to do, quote unquote, for business. It's what you have to do. It's just what you have to do. So if you want to own a business, you have to do businessy things. So a lot of people say that I don't want to be too business like. Well, then don't own a business, because you might not have to wear a suit and tie, not for your business, but like the whole, I'm not going to be business like or businessy. That's you got to run your business. And maybe you don't share that with other people. Like Rob's an entrepreneur. He owns his own business. I own my own business. You own your own business. So we have to do business things, and we might not like it. We may not want to go on QuickBooks. We might not want to do whatever, but sometimes you have to do this, and you have to say, how can I get a lead? How can I sell another kitchen? Like I had an interesting phone call with a client. I gave her an estimate, and the estimate was for $11,000. And she said, I really think that this job should be, between $5,000 and $8,000.
Right.
So at this point, I already know I lost this at this point. I already know I lost it. So I said, why do you think that? And she goes, well, do you really think it's that hard to put tile in the bathroom, like on the tile a wall in the bathroom?
Yeah, didn't see the value.
And I said, do you want a beautiful bathroom? You've seen all my pictures. All my bathrooms are beautiful. You've got me as a referral from other clients. They tell you how beautiful the bathroom is. If you want a beautiful bathroom, the price is $11,000. If you don't want a beautiful bathroom, or maybe you get somebody else that'll do it for $8,000, and maybe they're better than me. I don't know. You know what I mean? But I know what I have to charge, and I know what I'm worth. And that's part of my business model. And some people don't like that. Some people, I don't think this girl will ever call me back, because where I knew I lost the client was when she said, is it really that hard to tile the shower wall?
Okay, so why you don't want to work for that person anyway,
but you don't,
because you can never make that person happy. They will kick that thing to death and say, I could have did it myself. That's just you're hearing it before it actually happens.
That's a lead that you want to disqualify. My question that I would ask you would be, when you identified that she wasn't a client, why give her another droplet of your attention and energy, and why not focus on somebody who is?
Well,
you know what I mean? Because
I'll tell you why.
I think that would be what the teachers say you're supposed to do.
Right. Well, I'll tell you why. She's never going to call me back, but I send her the estimate. A couple hours later, she calls me. We had this ridiculous conversation, and I wrapped it up with, if you change your mind, please don't hesitate to give me a call back. Knowing damn well she will never call me back. And I did that because I want her. One of the people that referred her, I know for a fact she'll probably call that person up and say, oh my God, how did you afford $11,000 for your bathroom? Their bathroom was even more expensive because they got custom lighting put in and this, that. And I don't know people's financial situations. Like, fuck, that's not my business. Can you afford my price? But I know she'll call that person. I want her to call that person and say, hey, Ray's a nice guy. He was just a little too expensive for me. As opposed to, not only was Ray expensive, but Ray's a dick. So we don't want to, like.
I get what you mean.
You know what I mean?
You make a good point, because like quickly disqualifying a lead in a way that it won't damage your good leads.
I don't think anybody wants to really like kill every single relationship. Because I may not be able to help someone today. It doesn't mean I can't help them down the road.
But Rob's right, bro. That's not the client. That's not the client.
Well, there's a price for that too, by the way. There's a way to make that situation go away. That $12,000, knowing that, would be higher and higher for every other ask that comes in, to the point where she wouldn't want to do it, period.
Yeah.
It's either got to be worth your while so much to do it. You're going to make so much money on it that you're willing to be inconvenienced to have her as a client. Because not only will it take your energy, it will take your enthusiasm a bit as well.
Now, if she would have said, guys, if she would have said,
sorry, I just want to ask one thing, because I was taught that if you're getting a response, the game isn't over. So I think that my gut tells me, and this could be a Hail Mary, and maybe this is how I end up wasting some time on leads that should be disqualified. But I think that if I really analyze that, and I hyperanalyze stuff, and I have the benefit of some hindsight, and I'm not in the moment, but it sounds like she was signaling that she didn't feel or understand the value. Like, how is this worth $11,000?
Potentially.
Like it either wasn't worth that to her, she didn't have it, so fear kicked in, or she didn't see or feel that value, you know? And I think that's where
I say two things to that. I say two things to that. Number one, I say if she would have said to me, hey, this is just out of our price range, I'm willing to work on saving some money, or what could we do to lower the price? Like instead of doing this tile, can we do that tile?
I have a question for you. Why would you go into this expecting her to tell you those things honestly? You know what I mean? Because people don't always say that honestly. They don't reveal that, you know?
Well, here's where she killed it. She killed it because she started saying, is it really that hard to tile a wall?
But she's ignorant.
Tile the wall yourself.
Like she's ignorant. Like, let me give you an example. If you came to my house and you gave me a number that I didn't like, I would always be very, very courteous to say, thank you for coming. Thank you for the estimate. Sure. I'll get it to me and I'll take a look at it. I'll let you know what I think. And I probably already know I'm not going to do it, but I care enough to make you feel more comfortable by just having a decent relationship. She cares about getting you on her edge.
Yeah.
She wants you teetering on her edge when she does that.
That's the difference.
She's already picking at you. You don't even have the job. You didn't even get paid yet. You're already dealing with bullshit from her.
Yeah, I think what it also sounds like is the space, because there was about 6 months where I sold life insurance. Sold life insurance.
Terrible.
The second I said it, I could feel people, their shield would come up, because there's a lot of people that are very slimy with it. And I realized at the end of it that the entire company wasn't doing what they said they were, essentially.
Sure.
And I got to protect myself legally, but if anybody wants to do some digging, they can probably find what it was. And you know what I mean?
Life insurance is tough,
what I'm trying to say, but I think when you are in a space like you are with contractors, or like I am with trainers, there's a lot of liars and cheaters and stealers and people that are full of shit. So I think that's where you and I are in a position where we have to, there's this mountain of shit to get through, because there's all these people that do it. So a moment like that is like, how do I know this is worth that? How do I know you're not lying to me? But that's where if she's playing a game, like it's hard to be sure, because these things aren't 100% certain. But
that's the sales game, bro.
I think there's some signals that she's going into it without trust, because she got the referral, but it sounds like she doesn't trust the price, because she's like, how is that worth that? You know what I mean? Because she either thinks somebody will do it for less, or maybe somebody told her, you gotta watch out for these contractors. You know what I mean? So then it's like the type of thing where you go into it, and that's the point, is where I think it's also why you and I want to do it, because it makes a good one more valuable when the standard is shit. You know what I mean? And it's not to like shit talk the competition, but it's basically like, I see a lot of people doing really bad work out here. So if you come out here and you do some good work, you're immediately more valuable than that. And I think that a lot of people aren't going to believe that when they see it, because everybody claims to be that. Everybody claims to be that, and I think that's where it's like that moment that's like, how do I know you're what you say you are? And it's also, it sounds like fear and misunderstanding, because it's like, when I talk to somebody about programming and I'll send them the workout, and then they'll feel frustrated because the ego will kick in and they'll say, well, I could have did that. And then I have to sit there and say, you didn't.
But you didn't.
And also it took me 15 years to be able to whip this up. So it's the type of thing that if you don't see and respect that, then we don't need to work together. But it's the type of thing that when you say that politely and you express that value, I think, and you express, you're working with a professional, like you're working with an expert legitimately, like, and you've seen my work, and that'll line up. And that's where people can feel when you're lying and then when you're not. And I think that's also what part of it is, because it, if assuming that she had the money and assuming that, there wasn't a game going on, it does sound like she just doesn't understand the nature of the work, because it's a black box. So it's, that's potentially as simple as slapping tiles on the wall, where you can communicate something like, look, if one of these tiles is a fraction of a millimeter off, you're going to notice it in 6 months, and it's not going to be right. It's got to be right. You know what I mean? And like this is surgical work. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like that's what that sounds like to me. But also,
now, will she call back?
How much energy is that worth? Because there's somebody else that you can talk to, be like 11 grand, and then they'll be like, all right, where do I send it? And then that's it.